day on Saturday into Sunday. Another warming trend for the central and southern plains. Now some additional forecasts.
It's about time. You'll find the Smart Hitch and the entire line of Boss snowplows at better dealers everywhere.
This program was sponsored by the Boss Snowplow with Smart Hitch. It's about time.
Well, travelers, looks like a great weekend shaping up if you're going to be doing any traveling at all.
Bands here, one is south of Buffalo, another here to the north, and you've been getting snow here in lower Michigan for a while. But we're also seeing some precipitation falling through southern New England, so you'll want to watch out for that. Perhaps more impressive, though, is what's going on here to the west. You can see this band of snow here between Jamestown and Buffalo, and with that, it's just been really very persistent here, and you are expecting some rather substantial amounts of snow as a result. And then we're seeing another snow band here to the north, south of Watertown. So those are two of the areas we'll be watching very closely for that lake effect snow here, and also off of northern lower Michigan. You'll want to look out for that too. Now, along with the wintry precipitation, we're also seeing some cool temperatures. It's not unbearable here in the Northeast. You're at 44 in Boston, 40 in New York, 34 in Buffalo, but we do see some of that chillier air into the Great Lakes region, and when you take into account the wind, you get the wind chill factor. That's what it actually feels like, and those wind chills pretty uncomfortable for you in Boston. 24, 26 in New York, 14 is what it feels like in Buffalo, 2 below is what it feels like in Saginaw. And this is really where we're seeing some of the coldest air in the country and the coldest air of the season for a lot of folks here in the upper Midwest. You're at 0 in Fargo and International Falls, 15 in Minneapolis, and it's 21 now in Chicago. So you've definitely seen some chilly weather, and you've definitely seen some wintry weather too, and it looks like more is on the way. And again, when you take into account the wind, it feels more like 15 in Chicago and in Minneapolis, 6 below in Green Bay, and 7 below in Marquette. So bundle up and look out for the snow. It's going to be heaviest in those lake effect favored areas. We'll head a little farther south now, where high pressure is in control, keeping most folks quiet, but southern Florida, different story for you. We have seen some rain around and still seeing some showers here. South Florida was really just about the only place in the south to get rain today. This was Miami earlier this afternoon, and you can see the rain wasn't very heavy and it was scattered, but you certainly needed an umbrella to stay dry. Our temperatures across the southeast are cooling down into the 40s, but still very mild in Florida. As far as any wet weather, it looks just like extreme southern Florida could see some showers. Well, that's it for the east. Now Nick has a look at the west.
And in the west, we're watching basically two systems. We're watching one well out in the Pacific, and we're watching this Clipper-like system moving through portions of the Midwest. Clipper-like because it is fast moving. It doesn't have a whole lot of moisture associated with it, and what moisture we are seeing is in the form of snow. We also are seeing some winds and cool temperatures with this too. A 15-degree temperature right now at Minneapolis, single digits toward the north. We've seen a little bit of snowfall from the Dakotas down just across the corner there of Minnesota and into Iowa. Also back around Omaha, we've seen a little bit of snowfall too. Right now, just light amounts here and there, and over toward Des Moines, we're seeing a little bit of light snow as well. So expect to see not a whole lot of accumulation out of this, just maybe 1 to 3 inches at the very most, but it looks like Chicago, you'll probably see a little bit by morning. Not enough to really cause any big problems, particularly at the airport. That's not going to be a problem at all. In the west, no problems like we had yesterday with heavy rainfall. We saw lots of rainfall around western Washington and lots of snowfall up in the mountains too, and windy conditions. We've seen windy conditions die down here along the coast of Washington and Oregon, but still a little bit breezy around this high with an offshore flow here around Southern California, and that really warmed you up to date. Mid-70s for the high around Los Angeles with 76 degrees. Salt Lake City in the 40s, Denver with 54 degrees with some downslope winds for you. Fortunately, the winds have died down around Denver. Earlier we had gusts to around, say, 82 miles an hour. Well, currently we are seeing the winds dying down and the temperatures cooling down a little bit too. 45 at Denver. Up in the northwest, 50 degrees around Seattle, 53 at Portland. We're still seeing a little bit of light snow across the upper elevations. We saw some earlier heavier snow around the panhandle of Idaho, but that has tapered off a bit. Just light amounts for now, but it could get heavy as another storm moves in. For right now, just a little bit of snow in the Cascades, the Bitterroots, back toward the Wasatch and the Rockies, and a little bit of light rain still falling. That is good news for you around Carnation, Washington, and all of King County actually, because you're getting this break from the torrential rains and snow. Some flooding though still left behind. One of the worst hit areas here in King County. This is the Snoqualmie River, crested about 4 feet above flood stage today. Part of western Washington received half a foot of rain in one day. Despite the flooding, no injuries or major damage has been reported. However, not going to give you much of a chance for that river to get down into its banks, as another system is moving right back into the northwest as we get through the day tomorrow. We'll see it on your doorstep in the morning, moving inland as the day goes by, and it looks like it could be some more heavy rain associated with that. We'll have more coming up in the forecast. Right now, here's Kristina.
In international weather, a state of emergency has been declared in the Bosnian city of Mostar after a river burst its banks following days of heavy rain. Bosnian radio warned the rising water levels could pose a threat to people in the town. and the authorities are preparing for a possible mass evacuation. The rain-swollen river first broke its banks in downtown Mostar, flooding houses and buildings. Well, as we approach the year 2000, we're featuring your selections for the storm of the century. Tonight's viewer's choice is the 1990 Plainfield, Illinois tornado. Kristen Dodd looks back at one of the rarest twisters this century, one that left its mark in survivors' memories.
Several communities southwest of Chicago. It was the only F5 tornado to strike the U.S. during August this century. It packed winds estimated between 261 and 318 miles per hour. It killed 29 people. Over 1,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. Total damage was estimated at more than $150 million. This giant tornado grew to nearly a half-mile wide at the peak of its path of death and destruction. This F5 tornado was a rare phenomenon in the summer. It developed under unique conditions.
This tornado showed weather forecasters that you had to beware of different ingredients than occur in the spring. In particular, you can get F5 tornadoes without real strong winds if you have temperatures and dew points that are high enough.
Tomorrow night, we'll take a look at one of Chicago's most memorable winter storms, the blizzard of 1967. Have you experienced a storm of the century? Tell us about it. Log on to our Storm of the Century webpage at weather.com or visit us at America Online, keyword weather. We have your picks for the Storm of the Century. Want to know what the experts have chosen? Starting December 21st, weather.com will count down the experts' top 10 choices. And join us here on the Weather Channel starting December 26th for our 5-day countdown to the Storm of the Century. For the Weather Channel, I'm Kristen Dodd.
Well, NASA has scrubbed the launch of its Terra mission until tomorrow. A computer automatically halted the launch of Terra moments before liftoff. NASA scientists don't know what caused the cutoff. Terra is the flagship of NASA's Earth-observing system of satellites. It's designed to scan the globe to study the interaction between land, ocean, atmosphere, and life. It will help scientists understand climate change and improve long-range weather forecasting. Well, now with tomorrow's forecast, here's Nick.
And we have a little reality check coming up here for the Northeast, because today you started off with temperatures in the upper 40s around Boston, New York, and Philadelphia. Your winds were light, very mild conditions. That is going to be a different story tomorrow. We've been telling you about this Arctic air out here in the Midwest. It is moving toward the east as we get through the day tomorrow, although as it does, it will be modified somewhat, moving over the lakes and just really getting away from its source. So by the time it gets into the Northeast, it won't be quite as cold as what we've seen back toward the Midwestern sections. Still, you'll notice the change starting off tomorrow morning very differently from this morning. Boston, New York, and Philadelphia, you're going to see breezy conditions, cooler temperatures, and a wind chill in the teens. Well, let's take it through the regions here and show you that not only will it be cool here through the morning, you're going to see some snowfall here around the lakes. And as this snowfall moves toward the east, you could very well see some by morning in the Chicago area. We'll see more pushing into Ohio as we get through the day. And then toward the west, that storm system moves into the Pacific Northwest to drench you once again and bring you some mountain snow, probably around 4,000 or 5,000 feet, well up there in the upper elevations. A bit more snowfall here as we move into New York and Pennsylvania through the day, but the southeast just looks dry. Light amounts of snow back here, a little bit heavier amounts here around the lakes, maybe a half a foot or so, and in the mountains. We still could see some light snow in the mountains of the west. It is going to be very cold though here with teens and single digits and below zero temperatures, warming up a little bit more tomorrow than we saw today in the Midwest, but some of that cooler air slides eastward. And tomorrow we're going to find yourself with snow here around Pittsburgh. Buffalo could see a little bit of that as well, particularly around the lakes. Boston and New York, Philadelphia, you're going to see high temperatures once again in the 40s, but windier conditions bringing that wind chill down. Some sunshine for you around Atlanta, Memphis, Dallas, and mild temperatures. And in the Midwest, you're still going to be cool, maybe not quite as cool as some areas saw today, but look out for some light snowfall as well. And in the west, sunshine toward the south and warm temperatures near 80 in LA, and the rain moves back in for the Pacific Northwest.
Well, snow or wind could affect your trip out tonight or tomorrow morning. Stay with us.
Travelwise is coming up.
'Cause 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 'c
How do you look up a stock symbol again?
If you can drive through snow, you're going to be fine. But
right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
you are getting a reality check in the Midwest. The warm weather is gone. Today, you saw some snow and the wind chills tumbled. Tonight, snow is falling in parts of the Northeast. In some areas, lake effect snow could really pile up. And storms of the century. Tonight, we look back at a one-of-a-kind tornado that survivors will never forget. Hello and welcome to Weather Center, sponsored by Chevrolet. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Kristina Abernathy. Thanks for joining us. Well, don't get used to the drier conditions in the Northwest. Wet weather is coming back. The details are ahead, but first the snowy weather in the Northeast. And we are seeing wintry weather and wintry temperatures out there. Some lake effect snow falling in northern lower Michigan. We're also seeing lake effect snow off of Lakes Erie and Ontario and New York. So again, some rather interesting weather here as this cold front has swept through the region. Those cold winds over the warmer lake waters have set the stage for lake effect snow. So we're not really seeing too much going on here in New England, maybe a few scattered showers, but it's back here to the west where you can see one area of persistent snow right in here south of Watertown, and then another south of Buffalo. And this has been a very persistent band of snow here off Lake Erie, and we could actually see some pretty substantial amounts of snow piling up in some of those lake effect favorite areas. So you know where you are. You're used to this kind of weather at this time of year, so just get ready. Lots of snow will be around, and these are the areas to watch for that. We'll also be watching for some areas of snow to the west too, including northern lower Michigan. Well, I mentioned we've got some cool temperatures out there. It's not quite as cold in the Northeast as it is through the Great Lakes region, but you are in the 30s and 40s here. 39 Philadelphia, 40 in New York. It's when you take into account the wind that you get the wind chill factor, and that's what it actually feels like out there. 26 in New York and Philly, 25 in Boston, 17 Buffalo, 4 in Cleveland. Bundle up, and you'll also want to bundle up here through the Great Lakes in the Midwest. 4 in Green Bay. Your temperature 21 right now in Chicago. You've really had some wintry weather today. You've had snow, you've had windy weather, and just some really chilly conditions. You had to dress warmly, hats and all, to scrape off the car or walk to work. And you had to deal with light snow this morning, and wind chills at times were hovering around 0. Now your wind chills right now, perhaps not quite that chilly. It feels like around 15 there, but still uncomfortable, so definitely bundle up. You know the drill at this time of year. Tonight and certainly tomorrow morning as you head out for work, there could be some snow around and also, of course, those very chilly temperatures. But these are the areas we're watching for snow right now, eventually moving into Chicago. We'll be looking for that here through northern lower Michigan, and also in those lake effect favorite areas, half a foot of snow or more is possible. Now a little farther south, your weather is a little quieter across most of the southeast except southern Florida, where we have seen some rain around, and that includes folks in the Miami area. And South Florida was just about the only place in the south to get rain today. This was Miami earlier this afternoon. You can see the rain wasn't very heavy and it was scattered, but you did need the umbrella to stay dry. So some wet weather around for you, some mild temperatures around too. You're at 70 in Miami, cooler to the north around 42 in Atlanta, 37 in Birmingham, but quiet conditions will prevail across the southeast except southern Florida, where you may see some scattered showers. Well, that's it for the eastern half of the country. Now Nick has a look at the west.
And a storm moving into the Midwest with just a few light areas of snowfall. Nothing major to worry about out of this. We call it a clipper storm because it's moving very quickly. It has a lot of cold air associated with it and not a whole lot of moisture. Windy conditions as well. We've seen that through the Midwest, and the temperatures right now, single digits and teens, 15 degrees right there in Minneapolis. So it's cold and it is snowing from the Dakotas all the way back down through a little corner of Minnesota there and into much of the state of Iowa this evening. Now most of these snowfall totals very light. As a matter of fact, we're seeing some even pass out of the picture now. We've lost the last frame on that radar there, but around Des Moines we've seen a bit of snow, just a few light flurries here and there, a bit more back up towards, say, Bismarck, North Dakota. So there's snow on the ground there too, but we'll continue to see a very limited amount of snowfall across this swath, moving into the Chicago area as we get toward tomorrow morning with some light snowfall, maybe an inch of accumulation at the most, and then moving into the Ohio Valley as we get through the day. In the west, we are having a bit of a respite after the storm. A lot of rainfall yesterday and mountain snow too, and windy conditions have died down here in the northwest, though we've still had an offshore breeze warm up those temperatures down around the southwestern regions. 76 the high in Los Angeles today, and even a downslope wind helped Denver warm up with 54 degrees for the high. We're down to 45 there right now, 67 at LA and the Pacific Northwest, very mild, upper 40s and low 50s. Still a few areas of light snowfall across Idaho and on into Montana. We'll see an increase in that over the next few days, but for right now, just very light accumulations. So the Northwest getting a chance to calm down before the nequest storm system moves in. And it's a good thing, too, because you've had some flooding rains there, as you can see. One of the worst hit areas was here in King County, here at the Snoqualmie River that crested about 4 feet above flood stage earlier in the day. Now, bear in mind, parts of western Washington received as much as half a foot of rain in one day. But despite the flooding, no injuries, no major damage has been reported. However, we have this storm right here with a lot of warm moisture headed your way once again. So rising snow levels, heavy rain, you know what that means. More flooding possible and maybe even not a chance to get some of those rivers to fall back into the banks. That will be on your doorstep in the morning, moving into western Washington, western Oregon as the day goes by. More on the forecast coming up in just a little while, but first, let's check back with Kristina.
In international weather, a state of emergency has been declared in the Bosnian city of Mostar after a river burst its banks following days of heavy rain. Bosnian radio warned the rising water levels could pose a threat to people in the town, and the authorities are preparing for a possible mass evacuation. The rain-swollen river first broke its banks in downtown Mostar, flooding houses and buildings. Well, as we approach the year 2000, we're featuring your selections for the storm of the century. Tonight's viewer's choice is the 1990 Plainfield, Illinois tornado. Kristen Dodd looks back at one of the rarest twisters this century, one that left its mark in survivors' memories and in U.S. history.
The tornado ravaged several communities southwest of Chicago. It was the only F5 tornado to strike the U.S. during August this century. It packed winds estimated between 261 and 318 miles per hour. It killed 29 people. Over 1,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. Total damage was estimated at more than $150 million. This giant tornado grew to nearly a half-mile wide at the peak of its path of death and destruction. This F5 tornado was a rare phenomenon in the summer. It developed under unique conditions.
This tornado showed weather forecasters that you had to beware of different ingredients than occur in the spring. In particular, you can get F5 tornadoes without real strong winds if you have temperatures and dew points that are high enough.
Tomorrow night, we'll take a look at one of Chicago's most memorable winter storms, the blizzard of 1967. Have you experienced a storm of the century? Tell us about it. Log on to our Storm of the Century webpage at weather.com or visit us at America Online, keyword weather. We have your picks for the storm of the century. Want to know what the experts have chosen? Starting December 21st, weather.com will count down the experts' top 10 choices. And join us here on the Weather Channel starting December 26th for our 5-day countdown to the storm of the century. For the Weather Channel, I'm Kristen Dodd.
NASA has scrubbed the launch of its Terra mission until tomorrow. A computer automatically halted the launch of Terra moments before liftoff. NASA scientists don't know what caused the cutoff. Terra is the flagship of NASA's Earth-observing system of satellites. It's designed to scan the globe to study the interaction between land, ocean, atmosphere, and life. It will help scientists understand climate change and improve long-range weather forecasting. Well, now with tomorrow's forecast, here's Nick.
Thanks, Kristina. Earlier we told you the Midwest experiencing a reality check. Here's why. Some Arctic air has moved into your region and replacing all that mild air that you've been experiencing throughout the fall. Now in the Northeast, you're going to get your own little reality check tomorrow, and here's why. This morning, you woke up to temperatures in the mid and upper 40s around Boston, New York, and Philadelphia with light winds, very mild conditions. That will change as we get toward tomorrow morning. The Arctic air making its move, and as it does, it will move here into the Northeast, but it won't be quite as cold as it was in the Midwest by the time it gets here. As it moves across the lake, depositing a little bit of snow, we will modify that air somewhat. Nevertheless, it's still going to be a change in the Northeast tomorrow morning with low temperatures in the 30s, some breezy conditions, and wind chills in the teens. It's going to feel very different for you. Let's talk a little bit more about the snow here along the lakes, and we're going to continue to see it pile up here along Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, and maybe as much as a half a foot of snow or more. Some snow, light snow moving in the Chicago area. We'll see it continue back along that front toward the Dakotas. And in the Pacific Northwest, another system moving in to bring more rainfall, and some of it could be heavy at times, windy conditions, and mountain snow up above about 5,000 feet. We'll still be dry down here around the southern regions with most of the precipitation up toward the north, and light amounts here and here with snow, but a little bit heavier, as you can see in these areas that we've colored in a little bit brighter white. Here are the temperatures, and it will be cool in the Midwest tomorrow morning with temperatures way down below zero and warming up somewhat as we get through the day, but still cool, and some of that cool weather spreading into the east. Say around New York, you're going to see temperatures by afternoon in the 40s, though it will start off very cool in the morning hours. Watch out for snow on the backside of this, and rainfall for you around portions of Florida. Warm temperatures, though. Sunshine over much of the southeast otherwise. Some snow, light snow moving into the Midwest. Chicago looking for a little bit of that, and cold weather still continues. Warm weather toward the southwest. Could be a little bit breezy at times, and breezy and wet in the northwest.
Well, snow or wind could affect your trip out tonight or tomorrow morning.
Stay with us for Travelwise, coming up next.
This program was sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust.
Is waiting.
Well, let's update those travel conditions for you, and a few areas to watch out for. Lake effect snow here in New York and parts of Michigan. A clipper producing some snow here in the Midwest, and we're seeing a quieter trend in the Northwest, but we could still see a little bit of rain and some snow, and that's certainly going to be the case as we head through the day tomorrow as the next system approaches. Our travel trouble spot, the Northeast, because of that snow here. Those cold winds blowing over the warmer lake waters of Erie and Ontario are setting up some lake effect snow bands for you here south of Water Watertown and south of Buffalo. Look out for that. And there are many areas where we could see snow, including the higher elevations of the northwest, and also here in a swath from Iowa into Illinois and Indiana, including Des Moines, Chicago, and Indianapolis. So be careful driving in all of these areas. And fog, reducing your visibility in the west. A few pockets there where you could see some of those foggy conditions, so take it a little extra slow and watch out for some blustery conditions here. That includes you in the northeast, and keep in mind that the windy weather will make it feel even colder than the actual temperature indicates, so some low wind chill readings for you. And some snow for you too. Look for 34 to start the day tomorrow in New York, 31 in Philadelphia, and we'll still be seeing some areas of snow here. No snow across the deep south. Pretty quiet weather, actually. 32 in Atlanta tomorrow morning, 40 in Dallas, 39 in New Orleans, and 53 under cloudy skies in Tampa. Now we go a little farther north, and we are watching for some snow here in Chicago and Des Moines. And keep that in mind as you head out for work tomorrow morning. It's going to be awfully cold. Chicago 18 degrees, snow in your forecast. No snow in Minneapolis, but it's going to be 0 tomorrow morning. So definitely get ready for that blast of cold air that's in place. You've had some very mild temperatures recently, and now temperatures getting a little closer in line with what we typically expect to see at this time of year. We're looking for snow in the higher elevations in the west, and another rainy time for folks in Seattle and for folks in Portland. Well, that's it for Travelwise. Time now to take a look at international weather and what's going on around the world. The British Isles, some soggy weather for you, including London and Plymouth. Paris, 45 under mostly cloudy skies, and to the south, Johannesburg, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Your weekly planner's next. Stay with us.